Well, hey there. My name is Susan Garrity, and I manage the Route Federal Credit Union. I've been in the financial industry for over 15 years in positions ranging from mortgage originator, personal banker, branch service manager, and now credit union manager. I'm here today to assist you in developing an understanding of credit, how it works, and how you can make it work best for you. So, what is credit and why is it important? Your credit history is maintained by three credit bureaus: Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. Each credit bureau has their own method of translating your credit history into a credit score. Wikipedia says that a credit score is a numerical expression based on a level analysis of a person's credit files to represent their credit worthiness of the individual. So the idea is that by reviewing a history of your accounts, payment records, balances, and more, the credit bureaus can create a credit score that will relay to financial institutions and also other institutions or individuals a level of risk that they'll be accepting by doing business with you. In this case, risk is what is the chance of an individual not paying back the funds and the financial institution ends up taking a monetary loss due to lack of payment. So credit impacts more in our lives than simply our borrowing ability. Bad credit can negatively impact relationships, your rental options and costs, employment opportunities, insurance costs, utility deposits, professional licensing options, your ability to start a business, cell phone deposits, and even your checking account options. A weak credit score indicates to financial institutions a high chance of borrowed funds not being returned in a timely fashion. Therefore, even when borrowing is possible, a higher interest rate is offered to offset the financial institution's risk. Let's take a look at this example of a credit card. On the left side of the screen, you'll see someone with good credit versus on the right side of the screen, the individual with bad credit. In this scenario, both individuals have a $1,000 credit card. The person with good credit pays 7% for the same card that the person with bad credit pays 27% for. Ouch. If both individuals pay just the minimum payment for the credit card, it will take 12 years to be paid off in full, with the good credit person paying only $10.28 a month, and the bad credit person paying $23.45 for the same debt. Over 12 years of making these minimum payments to the credit card company, the good credit individual will pay $480.87 to the credit card company in interest, while the person with bad credit will pay a whopping $2,377.10 in interest for exactly the same debt. Bad credit is expensive. I bet that you would agree that there are plenty of places that we could spend and enjoy $2,000 besides throwing it at the credit card company's financial bottom line. At the credit union, I like to put members' credit scores into a grade of A through D. This makes it easier for members to see the impact clearly that their credit score will have on the cost of a loan. That way they can tell exactly what they'll save down the road once their credit score rises. I just love sharing personalized tips and tricks for my members to use to improve their credit score. Let's look at this example of a $20,000 auto loan with a 60 or 5-year term. Over the life of the loan, a member in an A credit grade will pay $3,154 back to the financial institution in finance charges, while the same loan will cost a D credit grade member $6,600 $74 over the life of the loan. Who can really afford to pay more for having bad credit? The difference between interest rates that someone with strong credit pays versus someone with weak credit is drastic. So, what can you do to start building that credit score? First, pay at least your minimum monthly payments on time every month. Keep your balances on revolving credit, those credit cards and lines of credit, at 30 to 50% the maximum allowed. So if you have a $1,000 credit card, never spend more than $300 to $500 per billing cycle on a card without making a mid-cycle payment to reduce the balance owed. If you can, pay those credit cards or lines of credit off in full every month. Also, check your credit report annually. www.annualcreditreport.com is a government website that allows consumers to access their credit reports through all 3 credit bureaus for free once a year. The bureaus don't share your credit score without a fee, but for free, they'll show you all of the accounts or trade lines reported on your history, everyone who's pulled your credit recently, all the names and addresses that have been used with your Social Security number, and much more detailed information on all of the open accounts that you currently do business with. By checking this history once a year, you'll be able to confirm that all of the information is correct, and it's a great possible sign of identity theft. Also, actively build your credit. Now, I'm a fan of making cash purchases as much as the next person, but a credit history is something that cannot be created by purchasing everything with cash. For example, a few years ago, my grandfather learned this lesson the hard way. Grandpa's a man who pays for everything in cash, including his homes. Both he and Grandma prided themselves on living within their means. So when the time came that he needed to borrow a small amount of money, really a fraction of the purchase price of a car, he learned that without an established credit history, while you may be able to get financing, you're not going to be able to get the best rates and terms available. But by simply taking a few steps every year, you can avoid paying high interest rates after a lifetime of paying for everything out of pocket. Finally, have insurance. A lack of health insurance is the leading cause of bankruptcy. By properly insuring yourself and your assets, you can ensure that an accident does not throw you and your family into full-blown financial failure. So, have you ever wondered how different information impacts your credit score? 30% of your credit score is determined by how much you owe on your debts versus the maximum amount available. So when you think of that revolving credit, those credit cards and lines of credit, by keeping the revolving debt below that 30 to 50% limit, it goes a really long way to keeping your score nice and strong. 35% of your score is determined by your payment history. This is where making those payments on time every month plays a huge part in keeping a strong credit score. 10% is determined by new credit, and 10% is determined by your credit mix. This means what different types of accounts or trade lines you have on your credit report. I recommend having 3 different types of trade lines: revolving credit, fixed loans, and a mortgage. Finally, 15% of your score is determined by the length of credit history. The first time that you get any type of credit product is when your credit history is born. Credit cards can be a wonderful tool to help establish credit, but all too often they're not used properly. I suggest that before obtaining a credit card, you have the amount of 6 months of your bills set aside. Have a working budget and have firm control on your spending habits. This will reduce the likelihood of having to use a card as an emergency fund. Always pay your credit card in full by the monthly due date. Since interest rates on credit cards are assessed after the due date, this will save you from paying more of your funds to the financial company and keeping more of your cash in your own pocket. Finally, make sure those balances are lower than that 30 to 50% the max if you're not able to pay them off in full. I hope you all found this video information helpful. Here's the link to annualcreditreport.com. Make sure that your computer antivirus is up to date and pop on there to see what your credit report looks like. Knowing is half the battle. And for those Route Federal Credit Union members watching, feel free to call me to set up a time to review your free credit report and then see if you'd like some personal tips on how to keep that score going in an upward direction. Thanks, and make it a great day.